The sky above Earth was quiet at first. The stars shone like tiny diamonds in the blackness of space. Then, without warning, the silence was broken. Thousands of lights appeared suddenly, moving in perfect formation. Alien warships, larger than any human city, entered Earth's orbit. They were enormous, glowing with strange energy, and their shapes were unlike anything humans had seen. Panic spread quickly. People ran to windows, to rooftops, to every high place they could find. "What is that?" they shouted. "Are we under attack?" The news channels went into chaos, broadcasting live images of the massive ships hovering over major cities. Governments tried to stay calm, but inside, their leaders were terrified. In a quiet laboratory, deep in the heart of the city, a young scientist named Dr. Lena Arman stared at her computer screen in disbelief. The blinking lights and strange codes on her monitor did not make sense at first. She had studied signals from space for years, but this was something different. It was not just a random pattern. It was a warning. She frowned. "This is not just a message," Lena muttered to herself. "It's a warning, or a threat." She tapped the keyboard, trying to decode it. The signal repeated itself, stronger and clearer now. The words appeared on her screen, translated automatically by her software: surrender or be destroyed. Her heart pounded. She knew the world had faced threats before, but nothing like this. Alien ships, coming with a demand for surrender? Humanity had never imagined such a moment. The news spread fast. Soon, Earth's leaders gathered in emergency meetings. The United Nations headquarters was packed with generals, scientists, and politicians. The debate was heated. "We cannot surrender," one military leader said firmly. "These aliens may be stronger, but we fight for our planet. We always have." "But what if we cannot win?" another leader argued. "Our cities will be destroyed. Millions could die. We need to think logically. Maybe surrender is the only choice." The room fell silent for a moment. Everyone was thinking about the possible consequences. The alien ships were too big, too advanced. No human weapons could match them. The fear was real. Then, from the corner of the room, a single voice spoke clearly. It was calm, strong, and determined. "Earth will not kneel," said a woman, her eyes burning with courage. Lena recognized her immediately. She was Ambassador Celine Mar, a diplomat known for her wisdom and bravery. A ripple of surprise went through the room. Some people whispered. Some nodded in agreement. Others frowned. But the words had power. They were simple, yet strong enough to inspire hope. Earth had a choice. It could surrender or it could resist. And now, one voice had reminded everyone what humanity was truly capable of. Outside, the alien warships hovered silently. From the surface of Earth, people could see them, massive and unmovable, glowing against the night sky. The message repeated, booming from strange alien speakers: "Surrender or be destroyed." The world watched in fear. Families huddled together, unsure what to do. Scientists scrambled to understand the alien technology. Soldiers prepared their weapons, though they knew they were no match. News anchors tried to report calmly, but their voices trembled. Lena Arman returned to her lab, determined. She had to understand the signal. She studied it for hours, her eyes burning from the screen's light. Every code, every symbol, every frequency mattered. If she could find a weakness, humanity might have a chance. Meanwhile, the debate among Earth's leaders continued late into the night. Some argued for peace and survival, for surrender. Others argued for courage and resistance, for fighting even against impossible odds. The tension was unbearable. And yet, through all the fear and confusion, one thought spread quietly among the people. Earth has never surrendered. Earth has never known submission. And this time would be no different. As night fell across the globe, the alien ships hovered silently, watching, waiting. And on Earth, one voice, one decision, one hope burned brightly: humanity would resist. The stage was set. The war had not yet begun in full, but the first sparks of defiance were already lighting the path. A storm was coming, and Earth was ready, whether the galaxy believed it or not. The unexpected war had begun. The alien ships stayed silent for 2 long days. They hovered above Earth like dark shadows, blocking the sunlight in some cities. People everywhere were terrified. Streets were empty, schools were closed, and planes no longer flew. The whole world seemed frozen in fear. Then on the 3rd day the sky burned. Without warning, one of the alien ships moved. A beam of white light shot down from the sky and hit the ocean. The explosion was so strong that waves rose higher than mountains. Within minutes, the alien voice returned, calm, cold, and emotionless. "This is your first and final warning. Surrender or face extinction. Across the world, chaos began. Some people screamed and ran for shelter. Others shouted angrily at the sky. But in the middle of the fear, something else started to grow: anger. Humanity had been attacked, and humans never forgot an attack. In the underground command center of the United Nations, Earth's leaders gathered again. The air was thick with tension. Generals, scientists, and world presidents all shouted over each other. "We must fight back," one general said. "If we do nothing, they'll destroy everything." "But how?" another asked. "Our weapons can't even reach their ships." In the corner of the room, Dr. Lena Arman listened quietly. She had spent 2 nights studying the alien signal, trying to find something, anything that could help. And finally she had discovered something strange. She spoke softly. "They are using quantum frequencies to communicate. If we can block those signals, we can blind them for a short time." Everyone turned to her. "You mean, cut their eyes?" a general asked. Lena nodded. "Yes, just for a few seconds. But that might be enough to hit them." The plan was risky. But Earth had no other choice. All over the world, military bases were activated. Old satellites were reprogrammed, nuclear silos reopened, and stealth jets prepared for launch. Humanity was ready to strike back, even if it was a hopeless fight. As night fell, the first human counterattack began. Fighter jets screamed through the dark sky, heading straight toward one of the alien ships above the Pacific Ocean. The pilots were afraid, but they flew with courage. Each of them knew this could be a one-way mission. On the ground, Lena sat in front of her computers. Her fingers moved quickly over the keyboard. "Quantum jammers ready," she said into the radio. "On my mark, 3, 2, 1, activate." At that moment, the alien ships flickered. Their lights dimmed. For a few precious seconds, the great ships seemed to lose control. "Now!" shouted the general. Human missiles and railguns fired at once. Hundreds of rockets filled the sky, glowing like fiery arrows. They hit the nearest alien ship. A blinding flash followed, an explosion so bright it lit up the clouds. People around the world watched in disbelief. The massive alien ship began to fall from orbit, breaking apart as it burned through the atmosphere. The ground shook when it crashed into the ocean. For the first time, Earth had struck back, and won. Cheers filled the control rooms. Soldiers hugged each other. Civilians cried with joy. Humanity finally had hope. But the celebration did not last long. Lena's screen started flashing red. A new signal was coming in, faster, stronger, and angrier than before. The alien voice returned, deeper now, full of fury. "You have chosen death." In the sky, the remaining ships began to move. Hundreds of smaller crafts separated from the main fleet and started descending toward Earth. Their engines roared like thunder. The real war had begun. Lena whispered, "They're coming?" In every city, alarms rang. Soldiers took positions. People ran for shelters. The sky turned red from the fire of descending alien dropships. One of the generals turned to the others. "We've woken the storm," he said. Back in her lab, Lena felt the floor shake. She looked out the window and saw flashes of light in the distance. The alien crafts were landing. The streets glowed with burning debris. Yet even in that moment of terror, Lena didn't give up. She turned back to her computer, searching for another way to help. "If they think Earth will surrender," she whispered, "they've never met us before." On the other side of the world, in a destroyed battlefield, Ambassador Celine Mar spoke to a group of soldiers through a cracked radio. "Listen to me," she said firmly. "This fight isn't just about survival. It's about showing them what humans are made of. We don't kneel. Not now. Not ever." The message spread across every surviving communication line. Soldiers repeated it. Civilians whispered it. And slowly courage returned. The first strike had ended. The war had truly begun. The aliens expected Earth to surrender. But Earth had only just begun to fight. The war had begun. Alien ships filled the sky, darkening the sunlight and covering every corner of Earth. Their attacks were fast, precise, and merciless. Cities burned, oceans boiled, and human forces struggled to survive. But even in the chaos, humans refused to give up. From the ashes of destroyed cities, resistance groups were forming everywhere. People fought with whatever they could: old weapons, stolen alien tech, even farming drones turned into battle machines. Humanity was bleeding, but it was still standing. In an underground research base hidden deep beneath the mountains, Dr. Lena Arman worked day and night. The lab was filled with flickering screens, humming machines, and tired faces. Scientists from every surviving country had gathered there. They had only one goal: to find something, anything, that could stop the aliens. Lena looked at the data flashing on her monitor. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep. 4 days she had been decoding fragments of alien technology recovered from the fallen ship in the Pacific. Something about its energy core fascinated her. It wasn't like human power systems, it was alive. Suddenly her computer beeped. The screen displayed strange symbols. They looked familiar, not alien but ancient. She stared, heart racing. "This can't be possible," she whispered. "This symbol, it's from Earth." She quickly pulled out an old digital file, a record from ancient human civilizations. The same pattern appeared there, carved into stone thousands of years ago. The connection was impossible yet undeniable. Somehow humans had seen this energy before. She called her team over. "This isn't alien," Lena said, pointing at the symbol. "It's human, something we lost long ago. If we can unlock it, we might have a weapon strong enough to fight back." The scientists were silent for a moment. Then one of them asked, "A weapon? Or something worse?" Lena didn't answer. Deep down she wasn't sure either. Hours turned into days. Using pieces of alien tech and the strange energy source, the team built a small prototype. It looked like a glowing crystal, pulsing with a heartbeat-like rhythm. When activated, it released a wave of blue light that shut down nearby alien drones instantly. "It works," one scientist said, amazed. "It actually works." But Lena frowned. "It's unstable. We don't know what happens if it grows stronger." Before she could say more, alarms rang across the base. The ground shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. An officer ran in shouting, "The aliens found us. They're coming." The scientists froze. Soldiers ran to their positions, loading weapons. The lights flickered as explosions echoed from above. Lena looked at the glowing crystal, their only hope. She turned to her assistant. "We have to take it out of here. If it falls into their hands, we're finished." They placed the crystal inside a metal case and ran toward the evacuation tunnels. Alien blasts hit the mountain above them, sending rocks crashing down. The noise was deafening. Outside, the sky was filled with fire. Alien drones flew in swarms, scanning the ground for survivors. Human defense turrets fired back, their bullets glowing red against the darkness. It was chaos. Lena and her team reached an armored transport vehicle. The driver shouted, "Get in." They jumped inside, and the vehicle sped away just as the mountain exploded behind them. From the distance, Lena could see her lab, her life's work, being destroyed. She clenched her fists. "They think they can erase us," she said quietly, "but they're wrong." The convoy drove through the ruins of cities, past burning streets and collapsed buildings. Everywhere they looked, there were signs of battle, but also of resistance. Humans were still fighting back, refusing to bow. Finally, they reached a hidden bunker where the last Earth Command leaders were waiting. General Rakoff, a tall man with a cold, determined face, met them at the entrance. "Did you bring it?" he asked. Lena nodded and opened the case. The blue crystal glowed faintly, lighting up the room. The soldiers stared in awe. Rakoff's eyes narrowed. "What is it?" Lena took a breath. "It's something from our past, and our future. It can destroy their technology. But it's unstable. If it overloads, it might destroy everything within hundreds of miles." The room fell silent. Everyone understood the risk. Rakoff looked at her and said, "Then we'll use it carefully. If we fall, the galaxy will know that Earth never surrendered." Lena nodded slowly. "I'll prepare it for field use. But we only get one chance." Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, not from storms but from alien ships preparing another assault. The air smelled of smoke and fear. As Lena worked through the night, she whispered to herself, "This weapon was born on Earth. Maybe that's why it will end with us too." But deep in her heart, she knew one thing. The aliens had power, but humans had something greater, the will to resist. And now that will had a weapon. The secret weapon was ready. But no one knew if it would save the planet, or destroy it. The world was almost gone. Cities that once shined with light were now piles of smoke and ashes. Alien ships ruled the sky, hunting every moving thing. The human armies were broken, scattered, and bleeding. But they were not defeated. Deep underground, in a secret bunker below what used to be Northern Europe, Dr. Lena Arman and General Rakoff stood beside the glowing crystal, the secret weapon. The air around it felt alive, vibrating with strange energy. Every soldier who entered the room could feel it, a mix of fear and hope. "This is it," Rakoff said quietly. "Our last chance." Lena nodded. "It's not perfect, but it works. We can disable their shields for a few seconds. That's all the time you'll have." Rakoff turned to his officers. Then we make those seconds count. The plan was dangerous. The aliens had built a command station above the ruins of Paris, one of their main control hubs for ground forces. If humans could destroy it, the aliens' entire network on Earth would collapse for a short time. It would be the first real victory. Outside, the storm clouds hung low. The sound of thunder mixed with the distant hum of alien ships. Soldiers moved through the ruins, faces dirty but eyes determined. They knew this mission might be their last. At sunrise, the attack began. Human fighters, repaired with parts from old alien drones, flew low and fast, avoiding enemy radar. Tanks rolled out from hidden tunnels, carrying the secret weapon in a steel case. Rakoff led from the front, his voice strong on the radio. Today we fight not to survive, but to remind the galaxy who we are. The soldiers cheered. Then the first alien defenses activated. Blue energy beams tore through the sky, striking several human aircraft. Explosions lit up the horizon. The soldiers didn't stop. They ran through the smoke and fire, shouting as they fired back. In the command vehicle, Lena sat beside the glowing crystal. Her hands shook slightly as she adjusted the controls. "We're close," she said into the headset. 30 seconds to activation. Rakoff's voice came through the radio. "All units cover the weapon. Hold the line." Alien machines landed in front of them, tall metal creatures with 6 legs and glowing red eyes. They fired plasma bolts that melted concrete. The ground shook as human rockets hit back. It was chaos, fire everywhere. 10 seconds. Lena shouted. An alien beam hit the ground near her, throwing her against the wall. Her ears rang. Smoke filled the air. But she forced herself up and slammed her hand on the activation switch. A blinding flash filled the battlefield. A wave of blue energy spread outward like a pulse, covering miles and seconds. The sound was like a deep heartbeat echoing through the earth. For a moment, everything went silent. Then the alien machines stopped moving. Their lights flickered and died. The massive command ship above Paris began to lose power. Its shields collapsed, leaving its core exposed. Rakoff saw his chance. "Now, all units, fire everything you've got." Missiles, tanks, and railguns unleashed their full power. The command ship shuddered as explosions ripped through its hull. Flames burst from its engines. The alien control tower cracked and began to fall. The soldiers watched as the enormous ship crashed into the ruins, breaking apart in a final explosion that lit up the entire horizon. The ground shook violently. Then silence. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then one soldier whispered, "We did it." Cheers erupted across the radio. Soldiers screamed in joy, crying and laughing at the same time. Across the world, surviving humans saw the explosion and realized the aliens could be beaten. In the bunker, Lena fell to her knees, exhausted but smiling. The weapon had worked. For the first time since the invasion began, Earth had won a battle. Rakoff looked at the burning wreck in the distance. "That's for every city you destroyed," he said quietly. But even as humans celebrated, Lena's computer started beeping again. She frowned, checking the readings. Her face slowly turned pale. "What's wrong?" Rakoff asked. "The weapon," she whispered. "It's overheating. It's still releasing energy. If it keeps going, it might explode." Rakoff's eyes widened. "How long?" "Minutes. Maybe less." The joy turned to panic. Soldiers tried to move the weapon, but the crystal was glowing too bright to touch. It hummed louder and louder, shaking the walls. Lena looked at the data. "Wait. I can redirect the overload. I can make it burn itself out, but I have to stay here." Rakoff shook his head. "No. You're coming with us." Lena gave a small, tired smile. "Someone has to finish this. Go, General. Make sure this victory means something." Before he could stop her, she turned back to the console and began typing commands. The energy surged around her like a storm of light. Rakoff hesitated, then saluted her. "You'll be remembered, Doctor." He and the soldiers ran out as the bunker started to collapse. From miles away, they saw a flash of blue light rise into the sky like a star being born. Then it faded. The alien ships above Earth began to pull back, retreating from the chaos. The human resistance had done the impossible. They had forced the invaders to flee. For the first time in months, the sky over Earth was quiet again. And even though Lena Arman was gone, her name was already a legend. She had given humanity their first victory. The victory in Paris had changed everything. For the first time, the alien fleets had pulled back. Their ships stopped their attacks. For the first time, humans could breathe without fear. But it didn't last long. The aliens were not gone, only waiting. Their retreat was a pause, not surrender. Above Earth, new warships gathered in the darkness, larger and stronger than before. Their commanders had one order: destroy humanity completely. In the ruins of old Europe, the human resistance worked day and night. They had rebuilt their communication lines, repaired their defenses, and found survivors everywhere: pilots, soldiers, doctors, engineers. The fire of hope had returned, burning brighter than ever. But everyone knew the final attack was coming. In an underground base near the Alps, General Rakoff stood before a digital map glowing red with enemy signals. His face was hard, his voice steady. "They're coming from all directions," he said. "This will be their last strike." A young soldier beside him asked quietly, "Do we have a plan, sir?" Rakoff looked at the screen, then at the faces around him. "We fight. Like humans always have, together." There was no fear in his tone. Only resolve. On another level of the base, technicians worked to rebuild what remained of Dr. Lena Arman's weapon. Her sacrifice had saved the planet once, and now her designs were the last hope again. The weapon core, recovered from the ruins, was being repaired by a team of scientists who had followed her work. One of them whispered, "She gave her life for this. We can't fail her." Outside, the alien fleets began to move. Their shadows covered the clouds. A deep, rumbling sound rolled across the sky like thunder. The ground shook as the first of their energy blasts hit Earth's outer defenses. The war had returned, louder and deadlier than before. Rakoff gave the order: activate all units. All stations, prepare for full assault. Across the planet, human armies rose once more. Tanks rolled from hidden tunnels, fighter jets soared into the smoky air, and satellite weapons turned their cannons toward the heavens. Civilian volunteers joined the resistance, carrying food, ammunition, and courage. On the battlefield, everything was chaos. Alien drones swarmed the skies like metal locusts. Human anti-air turrets fired non-stop. Explosions lit up the mountains, painting the snow red. But this time humans were ready. They had learned from every battle, every mistake. Rakoff's voice thundered through the comms. "They think we will break. They think we will run. Show them they are wrong." The soldiers shouted back, their voices rising even above the noise of war. In the control room, the rebuilt weapon core began to glow, the same blue light that once saved humanity. Scientists worked quickly, connecting power cells, checking systems. The weapon was unstable just like before, but stronger now. "Energy levels at 70%, said one technician. "Keep going," replied another. "We only get one shot." Outside, the alien mothership appeared through the clouds. It was massive, larger than the one destroyed over Paris. Its engines roared like a dying sun. From its belly, thousands of smaller ships poured out, darkening the sky. Human fighters tried to stop them but were overwhelmed. Explosions filled the air. The ground shook so violently that buildings collapsed like sand. Inside the bunker, Rakoff shouted, "Is the weapon ready?" "Almost," came the reply. He clenched his fists. "We don't have time." Just then a voice came through the radio, an old, cracked recording. It was Dr. Lena Arman's voice. Her message played through the speakers, filled with static but still clear. "If you're hearing this, it means the weapon still lives. Remember, it draws power from human emotion. From courage, from unity. That is its heart. It's not just a machine. It's us." Everyone in the room went silent. Rakoff looked up at the glowing crystal. "Then let it feel our courage," he said. He turned to his soldiers. "Protect the weapon at all cost. Humanity's future depends on it." The alien mothership began to charge a giant energy cannon aimed directly at the Earth base. The light grew brighter, humming like an angry star. They were seconds away from being wiped out. "Weapon ready," shouted the technician. Rakoff slammed his hand down on the control lever. Fire. The crystal exploded with light. A beam of blue energy shot upward into the sky, cutting through clouds and flames. The beam struck the alien mothership in the center, piercing its armor like paper. The entire ship shook violently. Energy waves rippled through its hull, disabling thousands of smaller crafts instantly. The explosion that followed was seen from space. A massive fireball spread across the sky, breaking the alien fleet apart. On the ground, humans watched in awe. The sky turned bright white, then slowly cleared. The alien ships that survived began to retreat, drifting away, broken and silent. The Earth was shaking but alive. Rakoff stood silently, breathing hard. Around him, soldiers cheered, some crying, some laughing. The scientists stared at the weapon core, now cracked and fading. Its light was gone. One soldier whispered, Did we win? Rakoff looked up at the empty sky. No, he said softly. We survived. The final battle isn't over yet, but this was the beginning of their end. Outside, pieces of alien wreckage fell from the clouds, burning like falling stars. The people of Earth watched from the ruins, their faces covered in ash but shining with pride. Humanity had fought the impossible and stood tall. The galaxy had expected surrender. But Earth had only given resistance. And this time it was the aliens who would fear what came next. The world was quiet after the great explosion. No alien voices filled the radio. No engines hummed in the sky. Only the wind moved, cold, heavy, carrying the smell of smoke and ashes. Humanity had survived the impossible. But survival came at a cost. Half the cities lay in ruins. Oceans burned. The sky itself was torn apart by battle. And yet, the blue planet still lived. In the underground command center, General Rakoff stood beside the cracked weapon core. Its light had faded, but it still gave off a weak, warm glow, like the last heartbeat of a hero. He whispered, "You did it, Lena. You saved us again." Outside, rescue ships flew over broken towns, pulling survivors from rubble. Children cried and laughed at the same time. Families who thought they had lost everything found each other again. For the first time in years there was hope. But in orbit above Earth, fragments of alien ships floated like ghosts, silent, watching. And deep in the galaxy, the alien High Council received the transmission. The alien leader, tall and covered in silver armor, listened to the reports. "Status?" he demanded. A frightened officer replied, "The human weapon destroyed half our fleet. The mothership is gone. Casualties, beyond calculation." The hall went silent. All across the galaxy, billions of alien eyes turned toward the same small blue world, the world they once believed weak. The leader slammed his hand against the table. "One planet cannot defy the galaxy," he shouted. But another alien, older and calmer, spoke softly, "They are not like us. Humans don't fight for power. They fight for each other." The leader growled. "Then they must be erased completely." A dark shadow crossed his face. "Prepare the full armada. Every fleet. Every weapon. Earth will burn." Back on Earth, Rakoff knew what was coming. His officers looked at the radar. Signals appeared again, far out in the darkness of space. More ships. Thousands. Millions maybe. He turned to his team. "They're coming back. The real war starts now." Everyone in the room went silent. They had no weapon left. No defenses strong enough. But Rakoff smiled, a tired, proud smile. "Then we'll meet them with what they can never destroy." A young soldier asked, "Sir, what's that?" He looked around at everyone, men and women, old and young, faces dirty but eyes bright. "Human will." Days passed. Earth worked together like never before. Nations that once fought each other now shared food and tools. Engineers rebuilt satellites. Scientists studied alien technology. Ordinary people picked up whatever they could find, metal, scrap, wires, turning them into weapons. Even the wounded wanted to help. One farmer said, "If they come again, I'll fight with a shovel." Another, a young girl, whispered, "They took my parents. They won't take my world." Across the broken Earth, the message spread, "We stand together." From orbit, the stars began to move again. The alien fleets were coming, vast and endless, a storm of light and metal. Humanity stood alone. But this time they were ready. Rakoff stood at the center of the command room, hands clasped behind his back. He watched the radar fill with red marks, one for every alien ship. A voice on the radio whispered, "Sir, there are too many." He nodded. "Yes, but they're not enough." Outside, the sky turned bright white as alien ships entered the atmosphere. Their energy cannons charged, glowing like suns. And then, something unexpected happened. The sky itself lit up, not from alien fire but from Earth's satellites. The scientists had reactivated them, turning them into a defense grid. Thousands of beams of light shot out, crossing the sky like a web. The first alien ships exploded instantly. The others slowed down, confused. Rakoff's voice echoed through the global network. "To every human wherever you are, this is our world. We will not surrender. We will not kneel. Let them come. Let the galaxy see what it means to fight Earth." The people cheered. From every corner of the planet, humans rose to defend their home. Old jets launched again, their engines screaming. Civilians fired rockets from rooftops. Space stations reactivated their thrusters and rammed alien ships head-on. The night sky burned. Earth had become a fortress. Aliens tried to push through, but humans kept fighting. no matter the cost. Every explosion, every sacrifice added to the legend. In space, one alien commander finally realized the truth. He whispered, "They're not fighting to win, they're fighting so they can't lose." The transmission reached the alien High Council again. The leader watched, silent this time, as humans, broken, small and outnumbered, stood against his entire empire. He asked softly, "What kind of species does this?" The old alien beside him answered, "The kind you should never have angered." Back on Earth, Rakoff stood on a hill looking up at the burning sky. He could see the battle, hear the thunder, feel the ground shake. But he did not feel fear. He placed his hand on the cracked weapon core one last time. Its blue light flickered faintly, as if answering his touch. He whispered, "You said the weapon draws from courage. Well, look around, Lena. There's courage everywhere." The light grew brighter, not from power but from something else. From millions of hearts beating as one. And then a wave of blue light spread across the sky, silent, beautiful, unstoppable. Every alien ship it touched shut down, powerless. The invasion stopped. The Earth was still. The stars were quiet again. Rakoff smiled. "We told them. Earth does not surrender." He turned to the horizon, where the sun was rising through the smoke, golden and warm. For the first time in centuries, humanity stood alone, but unbroken. The galaxy had expected surrender. Earth gave only resistance. And now, the universe would remember that name, humanity.